minutes.
40 minutes started. Okay. Hmm. So, hi guys, welcome to the channel. So, we always hear about the fancy perks of product based companies, the free food, the MacBooks, and the high ESOPs. But today, I want to talk to a man who has actually seen both sides. And Utkarsh has spent 9 years in the industry, starting from the grind of a service based giant to now building core products. So, Utkarsh, welcome to the channel. How are you?
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, doing good. Surviving each day, as
Thanks
you
for
know.
coming to.
Yeah,
I know Utkarsh is a mentor to me personally. He has been mentoring me since 2 years. We are in the same company, John Deere. Thank you, Utkarsh, for giving time for us. It's really a pleasure talking to you. So,
anytime,
Utkarsh,
anytime.
like, just for the audience who doesn't know you, for like, आप कहाँ से हो, आप कौन हो और क्या करते हो और क्यों?
हाँ, क्यों करता हूँ उसका सवाल तो यार रोजी रोटी है। कहाँ से हूँ उसका तो जवाब मैं आई कैन टेल। सो आई एम फ्रॉम लाइक दिल्ली, born, brought up, everything, एजुकेशन सारी वहीं की है।
Okay,
और लाइक कॉलेज भी वहीं पे आई ग्रेजुएटेड ईसी। और उस टाइम पे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की मुझे कोई जॉब मिली नहीं। मैंने अप्लाई 7 जगह किया था, सातों से रिजेक्शन आया था। तो
okay,
समझ में आ गया था कि कैंपस प्लेसमेंट है, इन्फोसिस की है, अब यही है जो है, यही करता रहता है, यहीं पे जाना है। एंड आई वॉज नॉट अ वेरी गुड एट प्रोग्रामिंग एट बैक देन। लाइक आई हैड सी कंप्यूटर साइंस ड्यूरिंग 11th एंड 12th, लाइक +2। बट आई वहीं सी प्लस थोड़ी बहुत सीखी थी। आफ्टर दैट जो कोडिंग से पल्ला पड़ा है वो प्रोग्रामिंग। आई थिंक इन्फोसिस वाज द फर्स्ट कंपनी व्हिच बेसिकली taught me how a professional programmer works and how a professional programmer should code and everything. And the peers I got there are pretty cool and pretty, amazing. So
okay,
like they mentored, like they were miles ahead in the way that I was thinking कि जो
mhm,
peers होंगे उनकी coding and coding structures, the work that they were doing was quite good. So उनसे काफी कुछ सीखने को मिला। And yeah, starting from there, now we are here.
amazing. So let's go back to the first day. You joined
Yeah.
Infosys. आप उस टाइम पे क्या सोचते थे and now after being 9 years in the industry, after knowing so many people, after being into service based and product based companies, आपका thought process में क्या change आया?
यार पहले तो like see, on the first job the company, it's all about the impression कि you are the first, पहला पहला दिन है, फॉर्मल्स में जाना है and everything, सब गुड मॉर्निंग गुड इवनिंग गुड मॉर्निंग ये सब करना and you have to talk in a very polite manner and everything, you have to be very well dressed। और पहले तो ओरिएंटेशन तो ऐसे ही निकलते हैं, इट्स मोर ऑफ अ थिंग दैट इट गेट टू नो मोर अबाउट द कंपनी, दे टेल यू व्हाट पॉलिसीज एंड एवरीथिंग। सो इट्स प्रीटी new experience for me and never seen that. And after that, like once you get into the training, once you complete the training and you get into the projects, so at that time you see your peers, that people who have been working there for like 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. You get to know how the what the pace is, at what your expectation regarding the work and how you should, like क्या expectation तुमसे है as a fresher, because as a fresher तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम सब कुछ कर लोगे because you think like it's a college project, but it's not। It's definitely not। It's something like just लोग actually are relying upon to be up 99.99% time, so your project has to be pitch perfect। That's why there's a whole lot of force behind it। तो धीरे धीरे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी समझते हो, धीरे धीरे समझ में आता है कि व्हाट यू आर डूइंग बेसिकली मैटर्स। बट इट टेक टाइम्स इन इन अ सर्विस बेस्ड कंपनी, इट टेक्स टाइम टू गेट टू नो कि फाइन जॉब कर रहे हो, whatever you moved into production, whatever you've moved worked upon, how is it impacting others? It takes time to get that information or to get that learned behavior. However, in product based company, it is like this: you push into production Friday evening, Saturday morning तक escalations आपके हाथ में होंगे, or you can see the direct results going out, going into, you can see the how the users are interacting, you can see basically what's the general mood of the users for that particular feature that you have released. And it gets like, in product based company it becomes more intense once you get into that zone. It becomes more intense in a way that you wanted to whatever the results are, you get to know, like very quickly, and you have to work on those results or those feedback very quickly. So that's the way. So it's like the frequency changes. If you can see the trust and of in the service-based industry, but in the product-based company, it's like this, going like this.
So आपने
Yeah.
बोला कि the first day is like for all freshers, like even for me when I joined, I thought आप मेरी ही बात कर रहे हो कि coming into formals, ठीक है, wishing everybody, thinking it's a
हाँ
college.
वो होता है। वो
So
देखा था मैंने, मैं ऐड दिया था। क्या चल रहा है?
so I think everybody who joins the company for the very first time, they are into that zone itself. But आपने एक
Yeah, so
interesting बात की in service based companies टू नो कि आपके प्रोजेक्ट का इम्पैक्ट क्या है, इसमें बहुत टाइम लगता है. व्हाई डू यू थिंक
कितना
सो
लगता
दिस इज अ इशू, और इज दिस एन इशू और नॉट?
है? It's first of all, it's not an issue.
ओके.
It's not an issue. See, the point is that your product is making an impact at what level it's, and it's you're taking a time to know that. It's like eating food without salt. It fills up your belly, but something is missing. But in the long run, you will realize that it really does not that much matter that okay, fine feedback for a time बाद आ रहा है. Like you get to know like the impact after some point of time. During the build cycle, during the dev cycle, you realize like what could be the potential impact that it has. Once it gets in the user's hand and once it gets to the stakeholders' hand, and then we'll see what they're going to happen. Then you get more feedback, you get more ideas, and it takes time to adjust and get into the process. So service is more like a process. Everything is process based. Even if the feedback is coming, it's coming by a process, something like that. In product based, it can happen that feedback is coming good right now, and the next 10 minutes you are working on it.
गॉट इट.
But in service where it becomes like a process because the impact is not that much high at that level.
गॉट इट.
So that's the one major difference I would say. So that's why in USA, whenever we talk about product and service-based company, people often talk about okay, fine, the person is a service-based, he might have a relaxed job. If a product-based, he might have a very a hard job or very intense job, which I would say is a half it. In product-based, you can have a relaxed job. In service-based, you can have a very intense job. So it depends on project that you are basically part of.
Got it. So, like, just putting in different words, in service-based companies, so is it like you are often a resource that is built to a client and not an owner of the feature that you are in a product-based company?
Mm.
Is that a difference in the mindset also?
It is. Initially, it is. I
Okay.
mean, thanks for raising this point because this happens in a way that in a service space, you do not pick your first project. Your first project is more or less given to you by some, like by based on the requirement of the company.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, you still have a say that if and you want to work on this particular tech, but if the requirement is there and you do not have any other project in that particular tech, you will get assigned to the project. But the second project that you're going to get is basically as per your aspirations.
Got it.
And product-based company, that does not happen. Product-based company, if you are going to apply for the product-based company, you for sure know that this is a tech stack, this is going to work on, and this is basically what is going to happen. So that way things basically go. Product-based company gives you a bit freedom on basically what tech you're going to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But in service-based, you do not get that particular initial freedom. But going forward, you will get. And trust me, with my experience, not just my experience, the folks that I have talked to, my seniors also, after 3 or 4 years, the language and tech stack becomes irrelevant.
Okay.
You will be working on Python on 1 year or like couple of years, then you will shift to Node, then you will shift to C Sharp, then you will shift to Angular, you will shift to something else. So after 3 to 4 years in industry, language does not play a major role. It just becomes a tool for you to implement like solving the problems. And problem solving becomes same. Like in the service based, there are also problems to be solved, but product based, there are also problems to be solved.
Got it. Got it. So, like, just I'll come to the language irrelevant part of it. But
Yeah.
so one thing that you have also mentioned is project-based companies may you create your own product from 0 to 100. Is that clear? But
Hmm.
in service based you get half baked projects. So some people started making it, then it was a requirement, and then you have got it, now you have to complete it. Otherwise sometimes you there's a change of companies that happens. So people like in service based you have you are given one company and then you are asked to move to another. So some people were already there and then you are starting to pick it up. It's half baked product most of the times that you are actually building. Is that
Uh,
thing in service-based companies?
I have to be honest, sometimes it does based on the different projects.
Okay,
So there are few projects which have to be like that because there is a particular tech stack which is there. Uh, it has been there for some time and it is there for a reason. Like for the big clients, with the BFSI projects, BFSI and the healthcare projects. In the same BFSI, if you go into the companies also in the BFSI sector and the health sector, you will find that there is a certain, the innovation part comes in a very, not in a very, would say, frequent manner. It comes via the process way. So similarly, when you're working on a BFSI client or BFSI or a healthcare projects for a service company, it becomes like that, the project the product that you are building on, the project that you're working on is a basically that has been there for some time and people are working on that. And then here and there will be some changes and they will go on. It it is a manner of, because in the financial and the healthcare world, a radical change in technology can have a huge replication if it is not tested, well tested. That's an industry-based standard. So if you have, it depends on the sector that you are. If you are in a service-based company and your project is basically an FMCG, or if a project is basically on I would say an edtech, or if it's a project is on some other not like not so critical sectors, I would definitely say that you will get to work on different and amazing technologies also. It
got
depends on the sector that you are. So three sectors, like two sectors there are BFSI and pharma, and then the healthcare, and the third sector there is also aviation.
got
There
it,
is innovation in aviation has a major impact if it's going to happen. So it has to be well tested and it remains in the pipeline for very long.
got
So
it. And like it's also
depends on the sector.
and you have to scale it as well. If innovation is
Yeah, yeah.
to sell the product, well, that takes time because adoption in
It
aviation
takes
is
time.
it takes time. Got it.
It
So
takes time.
so one thing that I understand is in service-based companies, if you get a good project, your growth is immense. You have abundant of opportunities to grow, upskill, and everything. Because I think service-based companies also do focus on upskilling the employees because at the end they are
Correct.
resources that they are billing for. So is
Yeah.
that correct? Do they focus on upskilling a lot more than the product-based companies that we see around?
No, not more than product-based company. I think upskilling is for every company.
Okay,
Upskilling is for every company because of uh, in service-based companies for billing nature, for sure. Product-based company is to make your product relevant as the technology improves. As
got it.
you know, in I know for sure, like Microsoft have their own learning programs spreading across the Microsoft, and they're also selling it to the other folks. Similarly, Amazon has their own certifications, and so if the folks does not get certified into those or they do not upskill, the product that company is building will not be relevant in, like, let's say, 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line. So upskilling is something which is relevant to the company based on a different need. Service-based, billing, product-based to make your product relevant in the long run. I
Got
think that's what I feel is basically happens in general.
Got it. So, like coming because I think we have around 10 years of age gap. You have been into the industry for 9, 10 years now.
Yeah, 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 age yaad dila raha hai.
But just because over here the next question is very important. Based on your experience, now like
Yeah.
when the new students join the industry right now, firstly they are
Hmm.
afraid of AI. That is a separate question and separate podcast, I think. But second
Yeah.
thing is people also think when joining any company or any service based or product based company, when picking any of those, so people generally think salary is the only difference. I suspect it's actually even more than that. So what do you think, uh, joining a service based company, can actually do good to a student like us joining there? Or how is service based companies actually better than product based companies in some aspects of it? How can they be actually better?
So first thing is, when you're going into the corporate world, and not corporate, when you're going to the programming world and you're building on projects, if you do not have much, like, अगर आपने कॉलेज में बहुत मचाया नहीं है, like for example you have not gone into hackathons,
हाँ
और आपने इंटर्नशिप में भी मतलब बस नॉर्मल इंटर्नशिप जो मिल गई कर ली,
हाँ
so if you have been a normal average college person, which जो काफी हद तक काफी लोग होते भी हैं, उनके लिए सर्विस और प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी में इतना डिफरेंस नहीं रहना चाहिए. फॉर मी इट्स मोर ऑफ अ थिंग दैट यू गो देयर, यू लर्न द इंडस्ट्री,
got
you
it.
learn the domain, you learn the project, you learn how the basically a software development life cycle works.
Yes.
Or if you're going into the ML part, how a model deployment happens. See, कॉलेज में what we focus mostly on कि आप मॉडल कैसे डेवलप करते हो,
Hmm.
कि मैं ये पैरामीटर शिफ्ट कर दूंगा, मैं ये कर दूंगा, मेरा मॉडल बन जाएगा, ये रिजल्ट दे रहा है, बहुत अच्छा, मजा आ गया. बट वंस दिस मॉडल गोज इनटू प्रोडक्शन, उस ये तो बहुत बेस चीज है. इसके बाद मेन लड़ाई इसके बाद की शुरू होती है. वेन एवर गोइंग टू पुट दैट इनटू प्रोडक्शन, कितना कॉस्ट आने वाला है उसका, आपका, क्या वो मॉडल इतना लोड हैंडल कर पाएगा जितना आप, जितना वो रियल लाइफ प्रोडक्शन में आएगा, क्या, व्हाट इज योर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑन डिप्लॉइंग योर मॉडल,
Got it.
कितने आप, मतलब कितने सर्वर्स पर डालोगे. दीज आर द थिंग्स बेसिकली विच मैटर्स इन इन अ प्रोडक्शनाइज वर्ल्ड और इन अ रियल वर्ल्ड, आई वुड से. तो वो आपको दोनों जगह मिलेगा एक्सपीरियंस. सो इफ यू वांट टू, लाइक, गो अहेड एंड डू इट. अगर आपको अपनी प्रेफरेंस की टेक मिल रही है, बहुत अच्छी बात है, जाके पकड़ लो. इफ आपको आपकी प्रेफरेंस की टेक नहीं मिल पा रही है, कोई बात नहीं, वट एवर यू गेटिंग, गो अहेड एंड डू इट, एंड कीप ऑन वर्किंग ऑन योर सेल्फ प्रोजेक्ट्स, बिकॉज एक दिन रहेगा, एक साल रहेगा, 2 साल रहेगा, बट यू विल गेट वर्किंग ऑन दैट वंस यू हैव दैट एनफ एक्सपीरियंस. Nobody started like service based maybe. I have seen folks who have started working on the mainframe,
Mm-hmm.
and they were actually quite good at programming, but they got mainframe because of the project needs of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But they switched it. They pivoted कि नहीं यार, मेरे को तो data science में interest है, and I have seen them moving from Infosys to tag analytics, or to, like, one of my colleague is basically Infosys colleague is now at Apple as a machine learning engineer, and he started with me only as a web developer. But he wanted to work on machine learning, and he has been there. He was learning it, so he pivoted it, and he works now in one of the best product companies there is. So it depends. Like, if you're getting the first tag that you want, go ahead, good for you. If you're not, keep branding. It's
Got
gonna
it.
happen.
So when we talk about Infosys to Apple, so
Yeah,
what do you think is the skills that Apple actually sees after 2 3 years of working? So I one thing I completely understand from you is when a college student is there, and even if they are getting Infosys or like service based companies, for if not getting the product based companies, it is fine because you are learning the atmosphere of offices, corporate world, and one good advantage of service based companies that I see is
correct, correct,
you get exposure to be and work with a lot of product based companies, because at the end you are working for someone else, but you are working with them, you are learning from them. So in John Deere that we see, we have so many so many vendors that are coming up and working with us, understanding how
yeah,
John Deere works, and then they are also going to Swiggy and Apple, so they are
correct,
understanding how different companies are working, what is the exposure that they are getting. So this is awesome,
exactly.
I think.
Yes, this is actually pretty awesome. And see, at the end of the day, the high-end product company basically wants the understanding. एक चीज, the more you grow into the industry, the one thing that everyone will say कि आपके basics clear होने चाहिए. Interview में भी, whenever I take the interview, or whenever one of my colleagues take the interview, हमने different companies में different different roles के लिए interview लिए भी हैं. Always one thing है कि भाई अगर basics clear है ना, if you have the basics clear, there is a 90% chance that the person who is interviewing you will hire you. That
Got-
basics clear is something which many people get wrong. It's not, and I'm not saying that getting basics clear is easy. It's not easy. It requires deep diving into tech. It requires why the things is happening is the way this is happening. What? when you ask like when you said कि यार एप्पल ऐसा क्या पूछ रही है, एप्पल ऐसा बहुत बहुत बड़ा नहीं पूछ रही, एवरीथिंग इज आउट देयर इन द इंटरनेट राइट नाउ, एंड नाउ वी हैव द एआई टूल्स, दे विल डेफिनेटली कैन गाइड यू कि which questions and coding problems need to solve to
Mhm.
get to be eligible, so that you can you can sustain the interview of Apple or Google or Uber or anything like that. But the idea is you have to have that mindset कि यार ठीक है, if you want to go into work in that company, first I learn the process, that is important. The second I will start learning about कि basically उनका जो टेक लेवल है, जो क्वेश्चंस पूछे that I learn. बट जो प्रोसेस है वो सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, बिकॉज कोई हर कंपनी का एक मैनेजरियल राउंड होता है जिसने बस यही पूछा था आपने किस प्रोजेक्ट पे काम किया,
Got it. So it's
एंड दैट इज द लास्ट राउंड यू सिलेक्ट.
got it. So more than solving lead code questions, it's about the mindset. It's about doing the
या
basics and
करेक्ट.
understanding how things work in the back end.
Correct. And like how the software development works, how the machine learning deployment happens, how all those things work in a real environment. That's why they like I'm saying system designing machine and managerial now. This way I think people don't focus at much and at initial stage. They should start focusing on और उनको current project का experience ही मिलेगा, वो और कहीं से नहीं आने वाला.
Got it. So, is there any resource that you have gone through? How can an
Yeah.
audience actually go to and learn the basics? How can they focus on their basics and be at product based companies like Apple, like you?
No, thanks for asking this. I think the placement data is quite a good podcast, and I think the material that you are sharing is pretty cool, and it gets to learn. I learned basically. I am not very good at lead code. I'm still learning the ropes of it, and I've seen your videos is pretty good, and the Swiggy system design that you have is actually quite good. So yeah, one more thing, lead code, uh, Byte Go, in Hello Interview. These are the few like resources I would say. And the second thing is there is a system design by Alex that would actually help you in understanding how the system design works.
Got
And once you understand the system design, you will see that whatever problem that you're trying to solve in the lead code, how are basically they relate into your real world problems. See,
it.
solving a lead code problem, sometimes we get the idea कि यार ये क्यों ही कर रहे हैं, क्या ही मिलेगा, कहाँ इंप्लीमेंट करने वाला हूँ मैं
Hmm.
तो लूप देखता हूँ, मैं तो आंसर डाल देता हूँ. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Once you understand the system design problems, you will see that why the answer loop will not work in your. So you will see कि why lead code problems are there, because in system designing you will see that you are going to implement those things, the sliding window, and
Got
like the rate limiter use sliding window. So yeah, that's the whole thing going to work.
So you have
That
to
is it.
cross that interview wall that is among you. So you can learn through using Byte Go, lead code resources, and system design resources that
Correct.
you shared. So these three, four things are the key for clearing any FANG-based companies or even more. I think FANG is not limited. You have a lot of product
Uh,
companies which are actually going.
correct. Correct. The reason we always say FANG is like you aim for the moon, you may hit a star.
Yeah.
So अगर FANG के लिए अगर आप प्रिपेयर कर लिया,
Mm.
तो आपको चाहे FANग ना निकला, आपको दूसरा कोई निकल ही जाएगा. That's for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because there is nothing above FANG.
अब हम बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर फैंग ना निकला सो दिस इज अ वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम रिजेक्शंस सो whenever we give a lot of interviews. I have given a lot of interviews. I know you have taken and given a lot of interviews, but so in this 9 years of experience, I what have you learned from the failures that you have seen in interviews कि
One thing, you have to, देखो भाई, at the end of the day, you can only work at one company.
हम्म
ठीक है, तो अगर 100 इंटरव्यू दियो, 99 you have failed, it's fine.
हम्म
There was a time, like I also have failed many times. I have failed my FANG interviews. I have got depressed. I have got like यार अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Then nothing. Sleep. Next day, wake up. चलो देखते हैं क्या क्या गलत हुआ था. Let's work on it. Let's make a notebook. And thankfully, I have been blessed with so many good colleagues of mine who have been there to guide me. कि यार, if you have seen rejections, that's how you come. Like a rejection, like one of my colleagues told me that a reject interview जहाँ पर रिजेक्शन हुआ है, उससे कुछ नहीं करना, बस वो क्वेश्चंस उठा ले और उन क्वेश्चंस के बारे में पढ़ ले.
हम्म
नेक्स्ट इंटरव्यू दे, उससे भी रिजेक्ट हो जाए, वो क्वेश्चन उठा ले, क्वेश्चन पढ़ ले. ऐसे अगर तो ज्यादा करता रहेगा, द मोर यू डू इट, एंड में एक ना एक बड़े कंपनी निकाल ही लोगे. एंड वंस यू बेसिकली स्टार्ट टेकिंग दोस रिजेक्शन एज एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द इंटरव्यू, and start learning from it and start deep diving into it, it will become easier as you go along.
Got
I'm not saying get rejected all interviews. I'm just saying that take it as experience. Either you learn from it and you earn it. That's it.
गॉट इट। सो एक एक मेरे सीनियर ने बहुत अच्छी बात की थी कि हर इंटरव्यू को मॉक इंटरव्यूज की तरह दो, और मॉक इंटरव्यूज के लिए ऐसे प्रिपेयर करो जैसे एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू के लिए कर लो। सो उसके लिए आपको स्ट्रेस भी नहीं रहेगा, और आप एक्चुअली भी
हाँ,
प्रिपेयर करके जाओगे। ठीक है, सो
करेक्ट।
दैट्स इट।
एक्चुअली
आपको अगर रिजेक्ट हो भी रहे हो, टेक इट एज लर्निंग, गो फॉरवर्ड, बिकॉज वर्ल्ड इज नॉट एंडिंग एट वन इंटरव्यू। आपके पास बहुत चीजें हैं, बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं। you can life goes on, you have to go with
यस, ट्रू ट्रू। आई मीन, मैं एक एवरेज स्टूडेंट रहा हूँ और मैं काफी सारे एवरेज स्टूडेंट्स को ही जानता हूँ, और होंगे फोक्स जिनका पहली बारी में गूगल निकल गया, बट मैंने देखा है मेरे जो इतने दोस्त जो गूगल में गए हैं, उनका तो तीसरा या चौथा अटेम्प्ट था गूगल के इंटरव्यू का।
it, got it।
सो इमेजिन, और गूगल में ऐसा होता है, इफ यू गिव इंटरव्यू आफ्टर 6 months you have a break, then you again you can again give, like this is a cool down period. Similarly, folks are there for Netflix or Meta. If you don't crack it first time, it's fine. They give you 6 months prepare, then come again. It's fine.
So
It's a marathon, यार. It's your life. It's a marathon. It's not कि गूगल हो गया बढ़िया हो गया. No, it's not.
and now with AI in that marathon, you have a companion with you who is always available to guide you for your mistake, give you the
Yes.
right solution. It's not only for cheating. People are using it for cheating, but use it as companion कि भाई इंटरव्यू में मत यूज करो, उसके बाद यूज करो, और उसको
Ah,
उससे
correct.
आंसर
Correct.
मांगो, समझो कि क्या गलत समझा था आपने पहले।
Actually, that's true. And trust me, AI से इंटरव्यू निकाल कर पकड़े जाओगे। इंटरव्यू में बैठा है, वो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, ही इज आल्सो नॉट एन इडियट, ही कैन सी फ्यू थिंग्स, बिकॉज समटाइम्स वी गिव द क्वेश्चंस और हम क्वेश्चंस देते हैं
एक
ऐसे कि हमें सब
एग्जांपल
पता होता है कि भाई
एक एग्जांपल देके बताओ, हाउ डिड यू कैच अ गाय जिस जो इंटरव्यू में चीट।
अरे आई वाज आस्किंग अबाउट नोड जेएस सिंगल थ्रेडिंग।
हाँ
Okay, now if you are giving me an answer because you know this single threading, you will tell me कि event loop cycle होती है, ऐसे ऐसे task आता है, ऐसे ऐसे assign होता है। That guy, without stopping for 3 minutes, speak in perfect English about Node.js event loop cycle. I was like, I got a bit suspicious. Then I got a bit deeper.
हाँ
Now I started asking him questions based on the answer he's giving. Even I don't know that much depth in Node.js. I'm pretty sure nobody knew at that time, but he was giving me answer again and again and again and again. And for me, it will become like, okay, fine. Then I switched the topic right away. From Node.js, I went directly into the system designing part, into the queues. And he's just giving me Node.js in queues in Node.js.
गॉट इट।
Which say कि भैया एआई का तुमने कॉन्टेक्स्ट Node.js पे सेट हो रखा है, अब क्यू भी वो Node.js नहीं बताएगा, तो अब तो मतलब मेरा 100% श्योर हो गया था. Then once you give a problem to solve, any lead code question you solve, you will see. If they are able to solve it but not able to explain it, it's a clear cut that you're not, I
I
think.
also seen people कि वो क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, और सेम जब चैट जीपीटी वाज द ओनली एआई टूल दैट वाज फेमस, क्वेश्चन पूछा और चैट जीपीटी में साइड में भी गूगल करते हैं इंटरव्यूज में, और
हाँ, होता
आंसर
है.
मैच करते हैं। इज इट कमिंग सेम, ऑल्दो वी नो hallucination happens, देयर इज डिफरेंस, बट फिर भी अगर सिमिलर लाइंस पे है, वी गेट टू नो कि भाई, सो समझो जो इंटरव्यू ले रहा है वो भी बेवकूफ नहीं है, इट ही हैज
बिल्कुल नहीं.
एक्सपीरियंस, तभी वो इंटरव्यू ले
हाँ, हाँ. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं कि तभी वो इंटरव्यू ले रहे थे, हर कंपनी में इंटरव्यू लेने के लिए होते हैं. वी
रहा
आर
है।
नॉट कि हम एक्सपर्ट हैं.
हाँ
हम भी इंटरव्यू देते हैं यार, हम भी फेल होते हैं.
हाँ
और हमारे को बोला जाता है कि हायर करना है, वी आर लाइक ठीक है, हायर करने में एंड वी, बट यार मतलब कभी इतना भी मत करो यार, ऑब्वियस चीट करने के भी तरीके होते हैं. सी यू कैन हेल्प कि यार अच्छा कुछ एक वर्ड नहीं समझ में आ रहा, कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ में आ रहा, वो बता दे. ये नहीं कि उसको अच्छा जो बोल रहा है कि उसको पढ़ते चले जाओ. इट
गॉट
बिकम्स रिपीटेड.
सिर्फ बस
Everybody is using AI. You have to be smart about it.
गॉट इट, you have to use it smartly. सिर्फ वन like with your experience, one suggestion or feedback, one word feedback to the students who are watching this.
Keep learning.
Awesome. So dedicatedly keep learning, keep focusing on the work that you are doing, and you are gonna nail it. That's the end of the podcast today. Thank you so much, Utkarsh, for being with us. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the time that you have spent us. Okay, thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.